everyone, it's me again, Sal. How you all doing? I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to another episode of Devil's Digest. I hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all doing fine this afternoon, guys. And look, you know what? It's another chaotic day as a Manchester United fan, and I just wanted to come on here and start talking about how we can basically fix this issue we have, because we have an issue, we have a problem, we know we have a problem, but how can we avoid it getting even worse, guys? Obviously, the rumours that were spread around were basically Manchester United. Ruben Amorim has 3 games to save his job. What do I think about that? I think it's absolutely crap. I don't think it's truth. I think that every manager could potentially be sacked in 3 games. They lose 3 games, then it is a big a problem, of course, guys. So what I'm going to say is this, guys. Ruben Amorim to be sacked. Now, look, you know what? I've said it once and I said it before. You know, this is the type of headline that they want. This is the headline that we want. This is the headline that, you know what, gets the clicks. Sack him now. Get rid of him now. He's not the manager. Do you know what I mean? Some low IQ individuals that's supposed to be supporting this football club. Absolute nonsense at the end of the day. And, you know, what I would say is that they're just there to get the sensationalist kind of headlines, the noise. They want the noise, they want the clicks, they want the sensationalism, they want the chaos. But I'm here to offer some order out of chaos, because that is what it is at the end of the day. All we see is flapping gums on TalkSport, on this, on that, and this and that, about how we need to sack him. He's not the right guy. The system is this. He's not up to scratch. He's out of his league and blah, blah, blah. We've heard it all before, guys. We've heard it all before. And now what I would say is this, guys, is that we are falling into the same trap that we've been falling into for years and years now, and we're not learning from the mistakes that we have done in the past. Players being disgruntled about training, players moaning about going home late. We've all seen it. We've all heard it all before, haven't we? Revisionism in regards to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Jose Mourinho. Let's get them back. I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing? These managers were sacked for a reason. Ole took us back, counter-attacking football, friends, mates rates. Jose Mourinho. People were leaving the stadium when Jose Mourinho was in the manager. You know? Now, how does Ruben Amorim fix this? Now, look, Ruben Amorim is not exempt from any type of criticism. He is a big part to play as well in what is going on at the moment. But how can he fix this? Now, it's a simple thing. What Bruno Fernandes did at the weekend solidified my opinion that he only cares about himself. He would rather throw players under the bus rather than concentrating what's good for the team. And in my opinion, I don't think he does what's good for the team. Even when he's on the pitch, he's all over the place. That's why his heat map is all over the bloody place. And this is why, you know, we end up losing games and the midfield becomes isolated and we're like Bagel FC. What Bruno Fernandes did at the weekend was show me self-centered selfishness, you know, and I feel like what he did by chucking Lenny Yoro, a young lad, under the bus, who's been probably our best player, deserves the sack. He should be sacked for that. He should be out the door. He's the one who should be sacked for that, not Ruben Amorim, him. What Ruben Amorim does need to do, how Ruben Amorim can fix it, is that the next game against Chelsea, he is not starting on that football pitch. Because we know winners, serial winners like Roy Keane, you know, winners like Wayne Rooney, you know, were punished for what they did. Garnacho has been punished for the way he acted with the media. So Bruno Fernandes has to be punished. Now, this for me is a perfect opportunity to say to Bruno Fernandes, mate, you know what? You disrespected me there. You disrespected your team. You went to the media, and this is unacceptable. You will not play the next game. You're not the captain of this football team. If Ruben Amorim has any guts, any sort of power, he would do that. Now, there's a lot of people that have been talking, and fair enough, people have been talking about Bruno Fernandes has power. He has the authority over Ruben Amorim because he's been forced to be played. Now, this could be a point, guys. Maybe Ruben Amorim is being told from the powers that be that he has to play. That wouldn't be the first time, would it? That wouldn't be the first time, because obviously he's deemed a £100 million asset at Manchester United. And they don't want to be deemed like, oh, we wasted 100 million, so we got to play him now. And this is something that I brought into the stream a few months ago. I said that now we've rejected the offer for Bruno. Does that mean that he plays every single game now? And lo and behold, here we are. He's playing every single game now. And he shouldn't be playing every single game. It's nonsense at the end of the day. Big up, Kenny. What's going on? Stop, strip Bruno of the captaincy, plain and simple. Absolutely, Kenny. I think so. Good afternoon, Sal. We have to change all the bad apples that has left in to harm the squad. Absolutely. Might as well we'll get Roy Keane against Chelsea. Look, I would love Roy Keane back at the football club in some capacity. I mean, Roy Keane would input some discipline into those players. We do need a character like that. I really do believe we need a character like Roy Keane. I do believe that. But what we have to say is this, guys. We have to understand that if Bruno Fernandes is going out and talking about Lenny Euro, like he spoke about him at the weekend, if he's been let off the hook, what does that say to the rest of the team? What does that say to the rest of the players? What does that really do? Does it have a good or bad effect? It has a bad effect, doesn't it? Now, I find it really, really baffling. Every single content creator I'm turning over, every single YouTube channel I see, I'm seeing the same old nonsense. I'm seeing the same old stories, the same old get rid of him, sack him, he's not good enough, blah, blah, blah. And it beggars belief because, they have no real identity. They have no real identity because what they are is a mouthpiece for every single media company out there that has been forced into it. That's why they get the interviews with Sky Sports, because they got that narrative. They got that narrative that fits the Sky Sports narrative, and things like this is why they're on there, because they're going against the manager that Sky Sports don't like. Remember, Sky Sports wanted us to have Pochettino. And I'm looking at the list of managers that are available. And I'm looking at like Pochettino, Areola. We've also got who else we got in that list there? We've also got Glasner in that list, of course. Emery in that list, of course. And I'm looking at it, and I'm not impressed with the list. If there was an overwhelming manager out there that I look at and I think, yeah, that guy could be the guy. That guy is good. You know what I mean? He's going to be a great manager. He would do magnificent for Man United. If there was a guy like that, then I would be, all right, then let's try it out. But there's not. But I also think that we should be calm. Ephraim, why Bruno likes post of Jadon Sancho? And this is exactly what it is. Some people may say it's a nothing. Some people might say, oh, it's just nothing in it. Don't worry about it. There's nothing in it. But there is something in it. You are the captain of Manchester United, and you're liking someone who has openly disrespected the manager, disrespected the football club, and disrespected the fans. That is what Bruno Fernandes has done. All right, this is what he's done. And I don't care what people think, but Bruno Fernandes is an absolute dopey twat. That's what he is. And he does that, and he has nothing to do with any historical captain at our football club. People were telling me, oh, but Sal, he's not the worst captain of all time. What about Harry Maguire? Harry Maguire did not throw players under the bus. Harry Maguire does not get shook if a referee barges him on the shoulder and miss a penalty. Right? Harry Maguire doesn't do whatever you think about Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire does not give the ball away in the middle of the park and blame someone else. You could say whatever you want about Harry Maguire, but Bruno Fernandes is 10 times worse as a captain than Harry Maguire. And I'm not a big fan of Harry Maguire, and people know that. But at least he's professional. At least he doesn't throw his players under the bus. Glad we didn't get the Poch. I mean, they're going to be going for it again. Emery is decent manager in a decent level club. He's not. He's the thing about Ruben Unai Emery. Unai Emery is a middle club man. A middle club man. He's that man that will get you to a certain level, but won't go that level up. As he's proven, he's fouled at Aston Villa, one hit wonder at Aston Villa, fouled at Arsenal, and that's what we have to understand. Yeah. So he's not a Man United manager, right? Because when you come into Manchester United, it's going to be a different animal. It's going to be a different kettle of fish. We know how stressful managing Manchester United is. Unai Emery is not that guy. Areola is not that guy. Glasner is probably not that guy. Who can bring it? Who can we bring in? People were saying Jose Mourinho. Guys, listen to me. I sat next to the bench at Old Trafford against Crystal Palace in 2018. And Jose Mourinho was the manager of Manchester United. One of our players gave away the ball. Jose Mourinho turned around to the bench and said, Do you know what I mean? You see what I mean? Toxic. People were leaving the stadium when Jose Mourinho was the manager of Manchester United. People were leaving the stadium. They had enough. Big up Adam, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Big up Sal, mate. I don't know what new manager, who the managers they can say next for Man United, mate. I mean, it's difficult to say, mate. You can throw names out there, but every manager we have all rated. Every manager that we have, you know. Ephraim, Sal, there is accountability. That is why the players are adapting this. De Zerbi, I don't know if he can do it at Man United. To be honest with you, I don't know. And again, we can throw names out there. I can throw loads of names out there. Like, you know, the problem is, and guys need to understand this, and I really want you to pull it in this little chestnut up here, okay? This thing, you see this? Right? Let me put it in this one. Do your effing research. Do your effing research, because at the end of the day, let me tell you something about football. It's not just about new shiny new toys, new manager. We got him. He's a great manager for Man United are a toxic mess. What do you think I'm talking about when I talk about derelict mess? What do you think I talk about when I'm talking about asbestos? What do you think I'm talking about? It's not just the footballing side. We are not Marseille. It's not just the footballing side. It's every single thing in this football club is a mess. And this is the biggest football club in the world. Now, any manager that walks in there is going to have the same problem. You can have De Zerbi, you can have his cigarettes, you can have him. You know what I mean? You can do whatever you want. Yeah, but he's going to fail too. This is not Marseille. This is not Napoli. This is Manchester United. It's very difficult. It's too expensive to fire Ruben. We have to complete the clear out of Deadwood. At least another 5 to go after the bomb squad. We can fire coach if relegation looms. Look. I've given it, like, for example, Lawrence, right? If Ruben Amorim loses the next 3 games, for example, then we can say, look, you know what, he needs to go. We can't keep this up. You know, the minimum that Ruben Amorim has to get for the next 3 games for me, 7 points. I think he needs 7 points. I think we do, because we can't have another write-off season. We need to start catching up now. I think the minimum he needs is 7 points. Even though we get 7 points, I know that there's still going to be people out there that are going to be crying for Ruben Amorim's head. You know, they're going to be crying for Ruben Amorim's head. They're going to be screaming, Ruben Amorim, get him out of my club. Get him out of my club. Wobble, wobble, wobble. They're going to be doing that. You know what they are. You know, but what I would say is this. He's not excluded from any form of criticism. He is part of it. And I would say that. I would stress that. But 12 million to sack him, I don't want that to happen, of course. But we have to get results on the pitch. And I know we have to get results on the pitch, because ultimately he's going to be judged on those results, isn't he? He's going to be judged on those results. And you know what? People are going to jump on him, and it's going to be pressure at this football club. It's going to be pressure for him to succeed at this football club. You know, it's going to be difficult. Sal, nowadays, our club become toxic for managers and players. It's sad to see. It's toxic. It's toxic. And the one thing I would say, guys, in regards to the toxic nature of our football club is that it's never going to end. Because I actually think if Manchester United won the league, right, and for example, we're 10 points clear of the league, and it's about April, and Man United lose away to, let's say, Tottenham, we will still have fans, so-called fans out there saying, oh, this is disgraceful. This is not good enough. We developed a culture at this football club where there are fans out there that won't change their mind regardless. And I think that even if Ruben Amorim was successful, I actually feel that they won't change their mind. For example, Erik ten Hag, right? Erik ten Hag won the FA Cup. He came third. He won the League Cup. And people were on him despite what he achieved and the mess that he had to inherit and beating Manchester City in the final of the FA Cup. Despite that, there were still people who wanted him out. Now, I actually believe that we've created a culture at this football club of fans that are much more celebrating their own opinions than actually supporting their football club. I said on Twitter today, what's the point of slagging Ruben Amorim off? What's the point of going in on him? What's the point of slandering him and assaulting him and insulting him? And because it doesn't make any sense. Because at the end of the day, whatever happens will be. If he gets sacked, he will get sacked. And that's what that will be. The owners will deal with that. You know, and that's the thing. What is the point? I find it counterproductive. Why don't you get that energy? And why don't you support your football club? And if Ruben Amorim doesn't work, Ruben Amorim won't work. Ruben Amorim will be sacked. And this is what I'm talking about. But one thing is most important. Maybe if you start supporting your football club a little bit more, maybe, just maybe, by the freak of nature, we might actually do better. You know? Kenny, we have been optimistic as fans for the last 12 years, and I just don't understand why does the football gods keep humbling us? Because we have nasty pieces of work as fans, Kenny. Some of these fans don't deserve success. They don't deserve it. Why do we deserve success? Why? We would much rather support Mason Greenwood than support our manager. This is where we are. And why do we deserve it? You know, the footballing gods don't celebrate people who don't have patience. Right? The footballing gods don't, because we've never had patience. In 12 years, we've never had patience. The footballing gods blessed us and blessed me back in the late 80s because we had patience. You know, if we carry on doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, this same thing is going to happen. You know? Big up, our man. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Hope you're blessed. Good to see you, of course. And we have to understand this. Stephen, nothing will change until the Glazers are gone. Yeah. And I find it bewildering. I find it, how do I find it? I find it upsetting that certain fans would never mention the Glazers. They would never mention Ineos. They wouldn't do it, even the big platforms out there, because they're much more interested in their VIP passes for their press conference. They're much more interested in going on Sky Sports and kissing ex-pros who hate Man United's backside. That's what they're there to do. That's what they're much more interested in doing. You know? They're much more interested in slagging the manager off. And I actually feel that they enjoy this. They enjoy these times. They enjoy slagging the manager off. They love it. They don't love the football club. They love slagging the manager off. I think they're addicted to saying, get him out of my club. He's this, he's that, because it gives them a sense of authority and a sense of relevance, because they feel like, yeah. And that's what it is with some Man United fans. Yeah, I'm right. You see, I'm right about Ruben Amorim. You see, some of them have already got their tweets in the drafts. Some of them are already ready for the next game against Chelsea to give it. However, I'm back in the team. I'm back in Man United. We could beat Chelsea. We could beat Chelsea. That's what I'm like. I keep banging the same drum because I support this football club. Right? I support this football club, and I'll forever support this football club. You know, I don't get this whole impatient, ungrateful, overrated content creators who go out there and spit their garbage. You know, and that's what it is at the end of the day. You know what I mean, bruv? It's not even about that, but he's a fraud, bruv. You know, and all these things. And I know the characteristics of these people. I know who they are. There's a very, very similar narrative in regards to all of them, because they're basically cardboard cutouts of each other. They're all the same. Guys, you're basically Madame Tussauds of content creation. That's what it is. Box, big up Box. What are you doing? Some Man United fans hope we lose games, so hope certain players have bad games or miss penalties, so just so that their narratives are pushed. It's madness. This is the thing, Box. And this is what I find it ironic, that, you know what, I'm going to write a tweet. He's going to be sacked. You know, because this is what they want to see. This is what they want to hear. This is what they want. They don't want Man United to be successful, because a successful Man United will be basically nothing to talk about, nothing to argue about, nothing to debate about. But they will find something. Don't get me wrong. They will find something. Because I remember before the days of YouTube, before the days of content creation, before those days, we had the online Man United website where it was a forum that we used to type, and people were still shouting and screaming even though we're winning trophies. People are still moaning even though we're winning trophies. Man United could play a 4-3-3, right? Ruben Amorim can leave, right? Ruben Amorim can leave this football club. Man United will play a 4-3-3, and then Ahmad will be left out because the tactics doesn't fit him into the team. And then they're going to be like, why is he leaving out Ahmad? Why is he leaving out Ahmad? I'm not sure about this manager, you know. Even if it's a new manager, because they'll have their favorites. They have their favorites, and their favorites not playing. And we know that the manager's going to be on a road to nowhere. The manager won't be able to win. In a few months, we'll be forgetting about the 4-3-3, the 4-2-3-1, because we'll be losing as well. But it's not about the system. It's not about the system. It's about the implementation of the system, the players in that system. That's what it's about. And this is what we're talking about. Yes, as I said, and I want to stress this very, very strongly, guys. I want to stress this strongly, that it's not about not blaming Ruben Amorim, because Ruben Amorim is to blame. But we have to look at things in a multi-layered purpose, in a multi-layered thing, because we've been here before. I should have people coming up to me right now and saying, Sal, you're all right about Erik ten Hag. You're all right. Even though we should have sacked Ten Hag, if they were going to sack Ten Hag, they should have sacked him straight at the FA Cup final. But irrelevant. I said then that it's not going to improve. It's not going to improve. I was told categorically that if Erik ten Hag leaves this football club, that we're going to win the league with these bunch of players. Now, how many great managers have we destroyed? How many up-and-coming managers have we destroyed? Big up, Benny. What's going on, my brother? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Of course. Big up, Gabby. Gabby murders United off every week on TalkSport. Gabby, all of them guys, you name them, they want to slag Man United off. United View, they're one of the worst. They're worse than United Stand. They love slagging Ruben Amorim off. They slagged Erik ten Hag off. They do it as soon as it gets the opportunity. As soon as it goes a little bit precarious, get him out. He's not good enough. He's doing this. He's doing that. He's doing this. He's doing that. And as soon as it gets a little bit careless, and I would urge them and I would encourage them to come on this channel and tell me why. Because I guarantee you that anyone who comes in this channel will be signed, sealed, delivered, schooled. You know what I mean? And that's what will happen, because they know I know the facts. I know the history. I know the facts. And these people, all they care about is, this negative narrative. And you know why they put that narrative? Let me tell you why they picked that narrative. Because it's good for Sky Sports. They love it. Sky Sports don't lie. And listen, I went on Sky Sports, right? Not because I done football analysis, because I actually had a talent. I done music, right? And my music went on Sky Sports, right? So it was no virtual singing. There was no just to fit a quota, in regards to equality. There was none of that. It was actually a talent, right? So listen, guys, what I would say is this. They have to fit a narrative to go on Sky Sports so that they're an ego boost to the Sky Sports commentators, the Sky Sports pundits on there. The Sky Sports pundits don't want someone like me. And you guys should go on Twitter right now and say, get Stretford Post on Sky. Because I will tell them. I've had journalists on the show. I've spoken to journalists, and journalists have tried to contradict me many times. And some of them have been on this channel and say, what do you think about Ruben Amorim, Sal? And I tell them the truth, and they can't handle it. They can't handle it. And this is the thing. I want to talk about things that are so away from what is the sheepism. That should be a new word, sheepism. And that's what it is. It is sheepism. Every one of them are like sheep. They're like dogs. That's what they are. They do the same thing, and it's so predictable. It's so predictable. It drives me mad. It's 4 games into the season. Now, if we win the next 3, I want to see one of those guys saying, do you know what? I was wrong about Amorim, but they won't do that. When Erik ten Hag won the FA Cup, none of them said congratulations to Erik ten Hag. He absolutely smashed it, did they? Big up, Sanjay. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Box. Some fans have become YouTube journalists in sense, meaning they are happy if United either top or relegation material, as it brings them favor. Absolutely, mate. And listen, guys, I want to tell you this right now, right? And I'm not blowing smoke up anyone's backside right now. Let me tell you something like that. A lot of people give Mark Goldbridge a tough time. A lot of them give Mark Goldbridge a tough time. But have a look at those other guys, right? Who Mark Goldbridge gave an opportunity to. Have a look at those other guys on the other channels. Have a look at the negativity. Peep that. Forget about TUS, right? Because I'm not saying it because they've done nothing for me, right? But one thing I would say, but look at the other guys. Look at the other guys who pretend to be so partial, pretend to be, so opinion. You're allowed to have opinion. Oh, I'm not allowed to have an opinion now. No, the people on your channel are not allowed to have opinion. So anyone who goes against your opinion, you're like, no. We're not allowed to have an opinion now. That's what they do. You know what I mean? One guy's got a hairline that goes back to the treble season. That's why he has to wear a cap every single day. It's the same thing. One guy looks like Jimmy Carr. You know what I mean? He's not a Man United fan. He's just there to make ding, 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 ding. A lot of them guys, look, people can't handle the truth in regards to me. in regards to me, because I will always give the real a voice. They won't. They are a walking narrative. They are, what does Sky Sports want? What are their views on it? Okay, I'm going with that view. What do the journalists want? You know, what do they say? Okay, I'm going with what they want. And that's what they do. I don't, however. I don't go with this narrative. Big up, Miles. How you doing, my brother? I hope you're doing well. Good to see United to the end. I've seen the great days and will be biased against Qatar and not the bigger picture. That would have back the manager with the proper. Thank you, Sal. Big up, my brother. So good to see you, my friend. Absolutely spot on. I absolutely concur. Absolutely agree. Qatar was the way. Qatar was the way for Manchester United. You know? And who was against Qatar? Name the names. We all know who they were. It wasn't Mark. We know who they were. Come on. Bring them down. Come on down, Muppeteers. Come on down. Here you are. Here's your Jim Ratcliffe fella. There you go, mate. Here's a real Man United fan telling you. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm not like the 90s when you didn't know what football was, bruv. You know what I mean? We're talking about what is good for Manchester United, and the Qatar were good for Manchester United. You know, and they slandered them. Oh, you know what? Sheikh Jassim Hamid doesn't exist. He doesn't exist. He's a liar. Even Jim Ratcliffe said that, and they all mocked it. You know, and he was at the World Club Championship final, wasn't he? Benny, doesn't matter what manager comes in until mentalities are changed and players have that mentality, nothing is going to change. This is not a quick fix. At some point, we will need to stick with the manager. Exactly. Because now, what we're looking at, Benny, what we're looking at is we're looking at a pool of managers that are available right now, okay? None of them I look at and I think, wow, this manager's going to be a manager. He's a good manager. None of them give me the feeling that I felt about Ruben Amorim before we came to this football club. Everyone felt it before we came to this football club. Oh, watch Ruben Amorim. Watch Ruben Amorim. Look at the way Ruben Amorim plays. Look at the way he defeated Manchester City 4-1. Look at the way he done there. Look at what he done there. You know, and this is what we're talking about. There's no manager out there like that. You think that Areola, the guy who looks like the guy from Spider-Man, is going to come into Manchester United, and in 6 months they're going to be calling him Octopus Man. That's what's going to happen. Trust me. You know, it's going to be the same. Glasner. You know, they're going to be saying, oh, Glasner's too nice, he's too soft. That's what they're going to be saying. Believe me, there's no managers out there right now that I look at and I think, yeah, that's the guy. The only manager I can turn around and say, well, you know what, is Zidane. But then you look at Zidane and you say, well, Zidane, he had a magnificent Real Madrid team. He had Modric, he had Cruz, he had Benzema, you know, he had Ronaldo. So and he had Bale. How can we talk about Zidane? And then you're thinking about who do we get then? You know, we can't get Klopp because he's an ex-Liverpool. Of course we can't. Sal, spot on. Some of our fans do not deserve success. They don't deserve success. Some of these Man United fans don't deserve success. They don't. It's just like a disloyal person doesn't deserve love. You know, and that's what it is at the end of the day. They don't deserve it. If you're disloyal, you don't deserve success. It's Alex Ferguson said, isn't it? If you're not there when we're in our bad way, don't be there when we're winning. That's exactly what Alex Ferguson said, but that is absolutely true because it took Alex Ferguson 6 years to win the Premier League title, right? And everyone wanted him out. He was deemed crap. Everyone was telling him he's not the manager for Man United. He's not good enough and blah, blah. Everyone was saying it, you know? Benny, Amorim is that man, but it's going to take time. It's going to take time, Benny, but do you actually feel, Benny, bro? Do you actually feel that he's going to be given that time? Do you feel that the fan base are going to give him that time? Because the way I see it, I actually feel that Ineos are persuaded by the fans, persuaded by a large, loud minority. And then when you're seeing Sky Sports, right? You're seeing Sky Sports and you're seeing all these big mouths going on there at these content creators, you know, talking about Man United, get him out. He's not this. He can't do this. The formation, the system, Bruno, They won't mention the fact that Bruno came out and slandered a young player and threw him under the bus. They won't mention that, but they'll mention about Ruben Amorim, okay? Ineos will see this. Ineos will see this. Jim Ratcliffe will see this, and it will put them under pressure. And we sack him. And guys, by all means, sack the man. Sack him. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'll see you next season. And that is what it is going to be because I know that we're going to be in the same place, the same time, same area right now, right here, right now, talking about, you know what, we shouldn't have sacked Ruben Amorim. The revisionism that we're getting at the moment with Jose Mourinho and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, it's like, for goodness sake, deja vu. I feel like I'm Bill Murray in Groundhog Day. That's who I feel like at the moment. You know, I honestly feel that way. I feel like this is just the same thing, the same cycle, training, going home in the dark. Yeah, we can't do it. We can't adjust. We can't do this. We can't do that. Murmurs, moaning from the same people. Ephraim, smash the lights. Thank you so much, Ephraim. Big up yourself. Big up Kazi. Big up my friend. Big up my brother, of course. Big up yourself. Players need to adapt. They are professional players. They should run through walls for the badge. They don't have the mentality yet. Amram will change that, but needs time. Absolutely. I mean, Amon, I know how difficult these streams are, and I know these people are trying to eat, even though they shouldn't be eating a lot anymore. But what I would say is this, right? I know that people are trying to do their thing. I know that. I'm from East London, guys. I was raised in a one-bedroom flat in Leytonstone in East London. I know about the hustle, right? At the end of the day. But what these people don't understand, and it's not just him, and I want to delete that from it, because I'm not talking about just him and obviously other channels of a similar nature. I'm not just talking about them. I'm talking about the people you don't expect. I'm talking about, the UV people. Those people who act like they're very, very open to opinions. They're very fair in their opinions. But anyone say anything that contradicts them, anyone come out with a bit of knowledge, they're like, no, I'm allowed an opinion. Oh, so I'm not allowed an opinion now. That's what they're like. And they start throwing all sorts of things out there to make people feel sorry for them. Right? It's ridiculous. Big up Benny. Gabby Obono is an absolute clown. Show us your medal, Gabby. He's a clown. In fact, I mean, one thing I would say about Gabby Ogbonlahor, Benny, is that he contributed to Manchester United, one of Manchester United's greatest ever goals, by giving away the ball to Wayne Rooney, who set up Robin van Persie for the volley against Aston Villa and won us the league. That is his claim to fame. That is his claim to fame, and he can live off that. And I'll tell him, that's your claim to fame, mate. Villa lost to Brentford to penalties last night. I mean, at the end of the day, it's crazy, isn't it? Do you think we'll win on Saturday, bro? Oh, man, yes. You're never going to hear anything more than me. Yes, we're going to win on Saturday. We're going to win on Saturday. Of course, we're going to win on Saturday. I believe it. We have to. Dan, bro, what's bugging me right now is Ratcliffe's comment that Man United should finish in the Champions League position this season. Doesn't that put pressure on both manager and players? Absolutely. Great comment, Dan, bro. Yes. Of course it does. And what does it do also, Dan, bro? What does it do? It indirectly, subconsciously feeds a narrative to those Ruben Amram haters out there already. It feeds a narrative to them that, we should be in the Champions League. We should be. And that's what it does. You know what I mean? That's exactly what it does. And then it adds more pressure to Ruben Amram. It adds more pressure to the players as well. Of course it does. Of course, when that's your owner, that's the one who's calling the shots right now at Man United. It's him. Of course, it causes a lot of problems. It's unnecessary to do that. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to say, plant a little seed in the media? We should be qualifying for the champion. What? By just fixing the strikers, just fixing the 2 number 10s and a striker, but ignoring the midfield and a right wing back and a left wing back. Newcastle have a better midfield than us. Tottenham have a better midfield than us. Everton probably have a better midfield than us. Chelsea have a better midfield than us. Liverpool have a better midfield than us. Manchester City have a better midfield than us. Do we have to keep going on here? Brighton have a better midfield than us. And they're talking about qualifying for the Champions League. How stupid and naive and ignorant must they be to be talking about that? Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to put pressure? There's already pressure at this football club, and you want to put more pressure. Benny, in regards to Mainu, if he's not up for the fight, then in his place in the team, let him go. Not a United player. This look for 4-way. Behind Keane and Scholes. No, he didn't. Exactly. I remember. I come from a time, Benny. You probably know as well that we remember great players who came off the bench and made a name for themselves. We know that. We know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would score 4 goals one game, and then he'll be on the bench the next game. But he became a Man United legend. So far, what I've noticed about this generation is that they feel like they're too entitled. They don't want to work for anything. They just want something for free. And that's what it is. They just want it for free, Kazi, Manchester United, a whole different ball game. Absolutely, Kazi. No matter what football club we're talking about, I saw people talking about, oh, look at Thomas Frank at Tottenham Hotspur. Wow. Look at Thomas Frank. He's cooking after 5 games. This is Tottenham, guys. That's Tottenham. We're talking about Manchester United, a completely kettle of fish. And Tottenham are better than us. Right now, right here, right now, Tottenham have a better midfield than us. They do. Come on, let's be honest. They have a better midfield than us. Big up, Kazi. Ephraim. Sal, some of our fans do not give football IQ the way they wake up. I mean, and they come on here and they give me the same argument every time. The same argument is like, can't win 2 games in a row. Came 15th in the league. You know, system. I see it all the time. I must have repeated myself about 1,000 times, guys. Honestly, I must have repeated myself about 1,000 times on this channel. Benny, you can't put a roof over a house if you don't have the foundations and the tools. Yeah, give Amorim the tools, Baleba, Wharton, and a few more. Exactly. If Ineos truly wanted success at this football club, their primarily goal would be to fix the football team, in particular that midfield. He should have called Ruben Amorim in for a meeting, for an emergency meeting, and said to Ruben Amorim, okay, Ruben, what do you want? What's it going to take? What do you need? And Ruben Amorim would have told him. And I would have said, be honest. What do you need to make you succeed? I guarantee you Ruben would have said 2 midfielders, couple of strikers, couple of number 10s, a defender, a right wing back. It would have been like that. Something along those lines there. You know? But what we've done, we bought him 3 players. We bought him a young goalkeeper on loan. And I think Sally Lamens is going to be a brilliant goalkeeper, all right? But I'm just saying, in regards to the narrative, okay? And we bought him Dorgu, who's a young left back, who's not his choice. He was agreed by the previous ownership. And also we got Diego Leon, who's an unproven South American who's never been in the Premier League. So what we talk about, is that backing? Is that a rebuild? Can someone tell me, is that a rebuild? That's not a rebuild. That's a sandcastle. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Absolutely. Big up, Benny. Benny, Sal, I hope he's given time. The record's not great, but I honestly see improvements. But he needs more players, especially midfielders. And what did I say, Benny? At the beginning of the season, what did I say? What did I say, guys? And people will know in the channel what I said. I said, if Ruben Amorim is not backed, if he's not backed, I think Ruben Amorim should walk. I think Ruben Amorim should walk and he should go. I really feel that. Obviously, he's not going to go because obviously he's going to lose 12 million and obviously no one's going to give up on 12 million. But I did say it that I think he should go because his reputation is going to be tarnished. If Ruben Amorim decided to leave, you know, he would have become a hero, a cult hero at Man United. If he decided to leave and he put in his resignation and said, look, the Glazers, Ineos, they're no good for the football club. I can't win here. No one's going to win here. Then you're going to see change at this football club. He would have become a legend, but no. Okay, Kobe, bro, you are too delusional to be running a discussing football on YouTube. A manager isn't a club, and Amorim now is what others manager didn't had. Is for I've had a football YouTube channel, by the way, Kobe, for like little under a year, and I've already got 13,000 subscribers. I've had Ben Jacobs on the show. I've had great journalists on the show. I run a YouTube channel. I also run a channel that's got 2 million subscribers in music. So what I would say to you, mate, about Kobe, about I'm too delusional to be delusional, mate. In what regards am I delusional? You're delusional to think that Ruben Amorim should be sacked because that's what it is. You're delusional to not look at the overwhelming evidence as to what has been happening at this football club for the last 13 years. You're delusional, brother. Right? I'm not coming on here and insulting you, mate. Come on here with a constructive argument in regards to being, be about football, not just being, oh, you're delusional to do that, mate. Listen, I've been around the block, brother. I've been around the block. I've done a lot of things in this life, mate. You know what I mean? Maybe you should do your research. I supported this club since the late 80s. Before you were even born, brother. You know? Probably before your country even knew what football was. Right? I was supporting Manchester United. Mate, you know what I mean? So I think you shouldn't come on here with the insults. It's not good, mate. Come up with a constructive argument, big respect, and that's it. Next. It's the same story on repeat, 13 years, same talking points, but what Amorim's doing is unacceptable. It's almost impossible to do worse. Glazers, Ineos. And that's what I would say. Next. There is a base level where even Ruben Van Nistelrooy relegated Leicester for 4 games interim. Look, at the end of the day, next is 4 games, mate. If he loses the next 5 games or 3 games, I'll say 3 games. If he loses the next 2 games next, then we can start saying that. If he goes and beats Chelsea on Saturday, what are you going to say? Are you going to go, all right, that's better? Are you going to come on here and say that's better? Because I would love you to say that. Big up Lawrence. Contracts and pay structure might be the root problem because for me, responsibility is 50% players, 50% coach, and then the owner's responsible for taking these attitude problems. Tackling these attitude problems. Yeah. At the end of the day, none of us are coming on this channel, Lawrence, and completely exempting Ruben Amorim for a blame, because he's not. And people talking about being delusional, I've actually given reasons of why Ruben Amorim is not doing as good as he should be doing, and what he should be doing. If you watch the channel, obviously these people not watching the channel, they don't know the criticism that I've given Ruben Amorim. They're just looking at the fact that I'm taking control over the ball and things like that, and I'm talking about the ball. They don't want to talk about that. You know, I would much rather that than me sitting here, £300, screaming my head off with 2 other men in a small little room, sweating, eating biryani. And that's all I mean, mate. You know what I mean? I can look right, I can see my wife, my beautiful right wife. Now, I can look left and I see my beautiful family. Alhamdulillah. MashaAllah. I can do that. You know, but they can't. They look left, they got one man. They look right, they got another man. That's what it is. I'm different. And that's the end of the day. You wanna dismiss us. At the end of the day, they can't handle the truth. And that's what it is. They know that the narrative will always be the same if we carry on doing the same things over and over again. We're going to carry on doing the same mistakes over and over again. You know? Big up our man. We should be all in for Agume. Yeah. Managing United is a different level, so you also need a manager who's different level. Amorim isn't that guy. Sorry, that's your opinion. Next, I respect your opinion, but I don't agree. Who is good enough for Man United right now? Who's available? Who do you think is good enough and proven? Ruben Amorim took a Sporting Lisbon side 20 years without a title and became unbeaten. Ruben Amorim took a Sporting Lisbon side and absolutely smashing it in the Champions League. Right? They only declined when Ruben Amorim left. We have 9 players who played in the Europa League final still at this football club. 9 or 10 players. Only the ones who started the Europa League final who are no longer with us is Højlund and Onana. You know? And you expect results. Start calling out the ownership. Amorim keeps chucking players into positions they don't play. It's ridiculous. Maybe it's the players need to adapt or Amorim needs to change. I'm not too sure. Both. Absolutely. Kobe, you know what? Your mother sucked my dick last night. So there you go, mate. What are you going to say about that, you silly prat, at the end of the day? Goodbye, babe. Goodbye. Let me just get you off. Bye-bye, you ugly prat. Aris to say, Amorim keeps chucking players into positions they don't play. Absolutely. I believe we will players that do actually get top 5, but the players who can do that can either on the pitch. Absolutely. Sal, I pay on Saturday to be true Man United fan. Stand up. Big up, my friend. Big up, Dan, bro. Look forward to seeing you at the watch-along, my friend. The watch-along is going to be great. What's his problem, man? Dyslexic, stupid. That's it. An idiot. Can't construct an argument. So gives that. He's jealous of Goldbridge because Goldbridge could probably buy his whole family. And that's what it is at the end of the day. You know, at the end of the day, that's what it is. I'm old enough to remember all the same quotes about Sir Alex Ferguson. Kobe M is just a racist. That's it. It's simple as that. Absolutely. Yeah. So at the end of the day, ignore that nonsense. You get them. You get them. I get them all the time. You know what I mean? It happens all the time. You get them because they can't construct an argument. They know what I'm talking is the truth. They know that they're angry. They know that they can't construct an argument because I told them the truth and it hit a nerve. You know? Saeed is all gigs and means. Saeed is all burgers and chips. That's what he is, mate. I don't give a damn. He thinks he's tough. I've been fighting all my whole life. He wants to come on in, wants to arrange a boxing match. I'm very up for it. It won't last 1 minute. You know, I have to take an insurance policy out because something might happen. Absolutely. But you know what? What I would say, I'm not bothered about that. I'm not interested in it. I give my opinion, and I didn't mention him. I'm talking about in general. And to be honest with you, people support these people, and they feed these dirty narratives in the media. And they feed these dirty narratives that little people like Kobe M, the little guys over there, you know, that feed into it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And that's what I would say about that. Ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Kenny, you know, at the end of the day, I'm a married man with a family, Kenny. Retired from, you know, England, moved to Abu Dhabi, you know, been in football 40 years, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean? And they want to come to me and talk like that. I mean, if you come with me with a constructive argument, a fair argument, an argument that is both witty, both thought-provoking, if you come at me with a decent argument, you know, then I will respond and I will give you a good debate all day long. But if this was if I was running for a president or a prime minister, whatever it was, right? Let me give you an example of these people. I would win because all they will be doing is hurling abuse at me. I'll be giving you this fact, and all they will be doing is hurling abuse at me. I'm so sorry that you have to go through. That's all right, brother. Big up, man. No, it's fine, bro. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I've had far worse and far better. Let me tell you that right now. All right, don't worry about it. Yeah, Said is rude. The chat during the footy judge Mo on stream. Yeah, Said was rude in that chat during the footy judge. I mean, and I told him, and you know, at the end of the day, Kenny, Kenny, did you watch the one that I was on? You know, and I told him, you know, and they can't accept it. They can't accept it. You know, even Judge Mo was like, I don't want to fall out with Said. I don't want to fall out with Said. Mohammed, who sports into Milan. Yeah, you know what I would say is that, yeah, I'm not bothered about that. You know, I told him about himself, and that's about it. I could have went in if I wanted to, but I was on someone else's channel. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, so I couldn't really go in. I didn't want to disturb his channel. You know, at the end of the day, you know, and yeah, it was one of them ones. But one thing that upset me, Kenny, is that we got a so-called Man United fan called Rich, who's there boring everyone down to death. Not mentioning Ineos, not mentioning the Glazers. You can mention about Ruben Amram and that's fine. But not mentioning Ineos, not mentioning the Glazers, and just going on about Ruben Amram. You know? And, you know, and that's what I'm saying. They're all boring. It's boring. It's boring. You know? He can never come on this channel, none of them, and start giving it to me. They will never do that. You know, they will never do that and start giving it to me. I will have a face-to-face debate with them. They have never seen anything like that in their life. And let me just clarify something, guys, because I know people want to cherry pick things. And I said that on Mo's channel. People want to cherry pick things. I am not 100% Ruben Amram in. All right? I'm Manchester United in. I want to clarify that. And for me, it means nothing to me if Ruben Amram gets sacked tomorrow. It means nothing. But what I'm trying to bring is an argument, a debate on what is right, what is wrong, who we should be blaming, and are we going to carry on blaming just the manager? Is it going to be tunnel vision, the same thing that we keep saying, you know? Where are people getting this 30 million to sack Amram? 12 million for Amram and the coaching staff. Button. 12 million for Amram and the coaching staff. It's not going to be 30, it'll be about 15, 20. Arman, do you think we'll go on a run of wins? I hope so, bro. I hope so. I really do. I appreciate you a lot, man. I appreciate you too, Arman. Thank you so much. Basically, Allah bless you, your family, inshallah. Thank you so much, Arman. Thank you so much, my friend. May your kids always be successful. Well, thank you so much, man. And you too. And you too, man. Inshallah. Take it, mate. Loads of love. Chelsea are not as good as Arsenal. They blow hot and cold like Tottenham. Saturday, starting 11 is crucial. And that's where we go, Don, bro, isn't it? It's up to Ruben Amram to pick the right 11. That's what it's about at the end of the day, you know? Ephraim, Sal, Said has no ball knowledge. He is a flip-flopper. I mean, he's a flip-flopper. The only thing flopping is his burgers. That's the only flip-flop I know. I mean, he's a pure flip-flopper. Arman, What do you reckon the score will be on Saturday? 2-1 United. 2-1 United, I'm saying. Top button. Add the dash needed to replace him. Yeah. Look, guys, look. If Ruben Amorim gets sacked, what do you think I'm going to do? Cry? At the end of the day, it's football. People get sacked all the time. But my duty as a Manchester United fan, like I've always said to every single person that I have ever talking to, is support the football club. Not to add extra pressure onto the football club. Yes, I will call out mistakes. Of course I will. You know? Rest to see. I think if Amorim picks the right 11, the fake Manchester United would definitely lose. Yeah. Big up, rest to see. Do your kids watch football yet? Yeah. My wife is a Napoli. My wife's on Napoli. My wife's from Naples. So, yeah, they all watch football, you know. But they're all Napoli fans and stuff. But what I would say is this, right? I'm going to try my best to be me. I will always be me. I won't be just trying to please people online. I won't do that. I won't come on here and please people online. You know what I mean? For likes and clicks like those people do. And I said it on Mo's channel. I say it again. I don't do likes and clicks. You know what I mean? Keep defending yourself, man. Thank you so much, brother. I always will, mate. As much as I've got... Look, with every 10 people... man. With every 10 people, you're always going to get someone who dislikes you. It's sad as it is. It's the nature of the beast, but it's the way it is. Sal was the starting 11. I'm going to give it to you, Dan Bro, tomorrow for the match preview, brother. I'm going to give it to you tomorrow for the match preview. I will give you my lineup, guys. It's going to be interesting. I've got some big things, big ideas of what I'm going to do, guys. So don't forget to join me tomorrow for that match preview. It's going to be epic, of course. But yeah, definitely. Guys, look, you know, in regards to football, football's about opinion. And let me tell you a story as to why I do things. And I don't attack people for the sake of attacking people. There's always a reason behind my madness. Okay? So what I would say is this. If I show you love, if I show anyone love, for many, many years I've shown you love, right? And then I get you on my channel. And then you turn around and you start talking about me, slagging me off, claiming I did this, I do this. Then obviously, what do you expect is going to happen? Because I don't do baby things. You know, I don't do nonsense little kiddie things like they do, you know? As they say, my family are divided between Liverpool and Man United. Poor you. Sal, what's your starting? Oh, sorry, I just read that one. Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, I want a starting 11. That is not the same as the last 11. If I see Bruno in that midfield on Saturday, I'm going to be losing my rag. And people know I will be, right? People know I will be. If I see people, if I see Bruno as that midfield position on Saturday, you know you're going to see a different Sal. You're going to see a different Sal because I'm backing this manager. I'm not Amorim in, I'm not Amorim out. I'm just backing the manager because it's good for Manchester United, right? So what I'm doing is, if I see Bruno in that midfield position, boy, oh boy, I'm going to go nuts. I'm going to go nutty. That's what I'm going to do. As to say, sense Sal, big up. You don't deserve all the hate that you get, bro. I don't get hate. I don't think I really get hate. You know what I mean? But if I do get hate, it's up to them, isn't it? I don't really care. At the end of the day, as long as we grow this platform, as long as we grow together, that's the most important thing, man. That's the most important thing. As long as we grow together. And that's all it is. That's all that matters. You know, everything else is up to God. You know what I mean? Scott, good afternoon. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you again. Absolutely. You know, good to see you, man. Look, I don't want to come on the show and be the voice of boring. I don't want to come on my channel and be cliche.com. I don't want to start saying, I don't want to ping up spreadsheets. I don't want to point thing. I'm not a spreadsheet content creator like some of them do. You know, I'm not one of those guys. But what I would say is this, okay? I will always stay true to myself and my beliefs. And I think everyone should do that. And that is the most important thing. If you believe something, you believe something. I respect it finally. But that's great. But what I would say to you, if you want to come on my channel and have a chat, have a debate, I'm all for debates. I love it. In fact, don't come on this channel and try and be clever and try and be stupid because you just get blocked and you don't have an argument then, do you? You know what I mean? Yes, dude, absolutely. Big up. Kenny, can I ask you a question? Kenny, can I ask you a question? How do you think I reacted in regards to the Saeed? When he said that thing, how do you think I reacted? How do you think it was? Do you think I reacted well? Or do you think I acted like that? Be honest, Kenny. How do you think I reacted? It's a question to my guy, Kenny. Dan, bro, Lamens must start, Mainu must start, Sesko must start, again, Ahmad, out, sure, bind it out. I agree with you, Dan, bro. I agree with you, mate. Spot on, mate. Absolutely, bruv. Absolutely. Big up, my friend. Casemiro could drop into central centre-back and step into CDMA for possession, double pivot, or Bruno Mainu. You never know. He's done the centre-back position before, hasn't he? He done the centre-back position with Eric Ten Hag. Do you remember that? I remember that very, very well. Of course, I do remember that. Thank you, Arman, and you, my friend. You didn't react much towards it. You went with the flow. Thank you, man. But you know what he's trying to do, Kenny? You know what he said? I know what he said. He said, end the stream, man. Man, the only thing he should be ending is burgers in the mouth and go on. He should just go on the bloody treadmill. That's it. That's the end of the day. At the end of the day, Casemiro is good player. I don't know what people criticize him. He's just getting on a little bit, isn't it? He's just getting on a bit. Dan, Hope, big up my friend. Hope you're doing well. Sal, I have been back in Amram, but if he put Bruno and Shaw in the starting 11, I would be fuming. Join the club, Don, bro. If he does it on Saturday, I give up. I honestly will. If we lose that game on Saturday because we got Bruno in that midfield, I'm going to give up. I'm being honest, you guys. I'm being honest. I'm going to give up. I'm not going to take this anymore because at the end of the day, I don't want to see Bruno in that midfield, and Bruno shouldn't be in that midfield. Kobe Mainoo should be in that midfield. Bruno should be a number 10. If he's not a number 10, he should be on the bench. And after what he done with Lenny Yoro, what he said in the interview afterwards, he should be sacked for that. He should no longer be playing for Man United. Thanks a lot, brother. Big up, man. Hey, big up, Rasta Socks. How you doing, brother? Hope you're doing well. Long time no see. Hope you're good. Hope you're blessed. Sal, you're from a person from I know you more calm than me, and I know for a fact you do your research. Thank you so much, Rasta. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thanks, Rasta. Big up yourself all day long. Betty, Sal, the dude, you're a classy man with some good born energy, and some guys can't take a debate. They can't take a debate because at the end of the day, I want nothing more than for them to come at me and say, Sal, you're wrong, and this is why you're wrong. All they could throw at me is this, that. And when I throw a narrative at them, they go, F you, you're a bum, you're this, you're that. You're, I mean, that just shows you lost the argument. You've lost. You're blocked. You've lost. And that is what it is with me. As soon as you come out with the insults, button blocked. That's it. Because at the end of the day, I want nothing more than a friendly, open debate with facts, you know? Scott, so I agree with you needing the best players to play and in the right position, but I still think Mainu is not athletic enough to cover the length of the pitch. And Mark, what do we need? What do we do with him? Just truth. What I would do, Scott, is I would play him, right? Plainly, to take away the narrative, because I saw Mainu against Grimsby, Scott, and he weren't setting up trees. You know, and that's Grimsby Town, you know. So I would say that play him and let's see how it goes. Just try something different because you know what's going to happen, Scott. You know if Bruno plays in that middle, you know what's going to happen with the noise and the chaos that is going to bring all week if he loses that game. You know, I actually think Chelsea, if he loses to Chelsea, that's it. People are saying 3 games. I actually think if he loses to Chelsea, that's it. That was my prediction. I got a feeling that is going to be it, but hopefully he doesn't. Dan, bro, Chelsea, another team with an excellent midfield. Amram must respect that. They got a few injuries as well. Let's see what happens. Big up, Sal. Ignore them. You are a wise person. Thank you so much, Ephraim. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Rasta. Big up yourself. If Bruno's an attacking midfielder, what a game that would be. It would be better. Yeah, it would be better. Sal, I think you reacted very well. I see the show. Thank you, Ephraim. Thank you, mate. They need to just come at me, innit? That's what they need to do if they want, because at the end of the day, I didn't want to slander Mo's channel too much. I didn't want to slander it too much. Do you know what I mean? I wanted to be fair, you know what I mean? And stuff, and let other people talk. My biggest concern was the so-called Man United fan next to me didn't have a clue. You know, Rich. Oh, Those Man United fans, are they just bloody clones or some shit? I don't know what they are. They're just so boring. It's unbelievable. Dan, bro, say to his fake cockneys. Yeah, you got a real one here. Benny, we disagreed on a few things, but we can have a debate. I enjoy this channel. That way I'm here every morning. Oh, Benny, you're a legend, mate. Thank you, man. Thank you. That is why I love you, bruv. That's why. We can have a debate. We can disagree. That's what football is about. Don't you think, guys, that it'd be incredibly boring if we agreed on everything? Don't you think it would be boring? Don't you think that? It'd be like bloody, what's its name? Bruce Almighty. Hello. Good morning. Everyone's happy. You have. If we don't disagree, how are we supposed to learn anything? How do we improve if we don't disagree? You know, if someone doesn't criticize me, how am I supposed to improve? And I don't mind people criticizing me as long as it's constructive. You can do that. As long as you don't come out with insults, you can do that. You know. Vishwa. Hello, Sal. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Not sure why Man United managers post Sir Alex Ferguson are worried of dropping the big name players or captain for the squad for the game. I'll tell you why, Vishwa. Big up, Vishwa. I hope you're doing well. In my humblest of opinion, I'll tell you why it is because they're deemed assets. They're not deemed as football players. They're assets. So basically, they're worth a certain amount of money to the football club. And ultimately, the Glazers and Ineos only care about the asset. They don't care about whether you play him, whether whether he's gonna the manager, whether it's good for his system or not. They don't care about that. They care about him playing because it keeps his valuation higher. So that's my spin on things. That's what I think. 6 p.m. For me. Big up, Russ to see. Big up, William. I'm on the break. What's happening, Sal? Big up, William. Good to see you. Miss another emotional show, my friend. Guys, absolutely. Cunha. Until we remove the players, we'll be here next year talking exactly, Cunha. We will be. I said this when we had Eric Ten Hag. Now, look, again, I reiterate. I was not Ten Hag in. I was not Ten Hag out. I said, if he gets sacked, it's best for Man, whatever's best for Man United. But I did say back then as well that we will be back here in 1 year's time talking about the same old nonsense. I know, look, here we are, lo and behold, you know, again. Sal, what do you think about zonal marking? I think it's killing out the bus at the back. Because Don, very constructive comment again, and that's just what I'm talking about. I don't like zonal marking. I hate zonal marking. I think what I've been raised upon is that it shouldn't be zonal. It shouldn't be man for man marking. What it should be is whatever feels right at that moment, right? You can mark a zone, right? But ultimately have your man, right? I think that ultimately it should be man to man. Pick out the dangers and mark them man for man. And that's how I think you should do your individual battles. Because zonal, you can override zonal. You could, the opposition can trick zonal, and it creates more space. This is why we can see a lot of corner goals and things like that over the last few months. We've been seeing a lot of corners and stuff like that, Dabizaz, good afternoon. I hope you're doing well. Bruno will be a good CAM if we have signed too many of them and younger too. He should consider Saudi in the summer. I mean, obviously, Saudi, I don't think Saudi are going to offer about 90 million again. This is one thing about it. We missed the trick on that. We missed the boat in regards to that, in my opinion. Most people don't like facts, Sal. That's the problem. Most people don't like being wrong. I'm happy to be wrong. You know what? One thing, William. I would love to be wrong 1,000 times out of 1,000 and made to look like an absolute embarrassment if it meant Manchester United winning on the pitch. That's all I care about, That's all I care about. Knowledge equals passion equals opinion equals debate. Exactly. We are human beings, Dan, bro. We are human beings. And if we do not debate, if we do not clarify the facts, right, then we're never going to get on at the end of the day. And each one of us going to think that, we're wrong until something happens. And we're going to go, I wish I knew that. I wish I knew that, I wish I knew not to do that. What do you teach your children when you're growing up? What do you teach the children? What do you teach your kids? What's right and what's wrong? You can debate. Healthy debate is good. Talking, why is that? So why do you think that is? But what do you think about that? And what do you think about that? Now, you people who watch this show today can see that I've brought in errors that Ruben Amorim has done. I've spoken about what errors that Ruben Amorim has done. I've spoken about what Ruben Amorim needs. I've spoken about each individual problem at Manchester United. Individuals and obviously the board and Amorim and everyone. right? What these people can't muster is that they can't muster that it's not just Ruben Amorim that is the problem. They can't muster that there are more problems at this football club, you know? William, zonal marking is a foul. Got to pick up the player. Absolutely. William agreed. Sacking the manager ain't the way. Except Ten Hag. That was definitely justified. That effed up. But at the end of the day, what I said about Ten Hag, whether we loved him or hated him, I said that sacking Ten Hag won't fix the problem unless we fix the culture and the mentality at the football club. And here we are, guys. The culture and the culture and the mentality at the football club is flawed. You know, absolutely. Arasta say, I believe Amorim will prove many wrong. I agree. Let's hope so. Let's hope so anyway. Zonal works on slower teams. That is a low press. I said it. I mean, I will always be, if I was to train a football team, and I do training for a youth team over here in the UAE, by the way, when I train with a mixture. So I would say to my players that it is whatever you feel is right in that moment. Whatever you feel is right at that moment. But one thing you take initiative for anyone who's unmarked, for any danger. My thing is called danger marking. So basically, if you see a danger, you attack that danger. No matter if it's your man, if it's not your man, if you can help the team, you help the team. And that's what I would say in regards to that. Unfortunately, zonal people, you know, what Ruben Amorim's doing wrong is just zonal. Zonal, I mean, Erik Ten Hag's done zonal as well. I don't agree with it. Challenge your man and we'll be a lot better off, you know? Dabby's other than that, hybrid is the way. Absolutely. Dabby's a little bit of both. Zonal man mark. Absolutely agree. Debate is healthy. We all strive for good Man United. Exactly. We're all on the same boat ultimately, but some people are not on the same boat. Some people are on a different boat somewhere else because they don't want to be wrong. And that is it. And that is what the problem is, you know, at the end of the day. Scott. Hey, Sal, we cannot blame our precious players. Heck, man, they are not the issue. It's always the Amorim. People wake up. We have 6 players short of being competitive. Absolutely. I don't know whether we're being sarcastic or not. It's always Amorim. It's Amorim. World peace. We don't have world peace because of Amorim. And Ten Hag not only got rid of our greatest goal scorer, he got rid of the goalkeeper. He bought players that, he got a lot of mistakes. But what you have to understand, or us to see about Erik Ten Hag, is that he done everything himself. He didn't have, obviously, Ruben, Wilcox, Ravel, and Barada to do things for him, which was an issue. Scott, we have one midfielder, Casa, and that's it. Absolutely, Scott. William, if we sack the manager, we are just getting sucked in again, avoiding the real problem. Smoke and mirrors. He's being sarcastic, Kenny. I have been with United for the past 30 years, but I would be happy if Man United, these players, proved me wrong and United win every game. I doubt it. Big up. Obviously, Scott. Big up, Scott. There you go, Kenny. I think we need intelligent players to switch between zonal and man-to-man marking. Our centre-backs are not physical enough and kind of slow. I agree. We ain't got... Look, ultimately, when we're looking at the overriding problem in regards to Ruben Amorim and Manchester United, he hasn't got his team. And that is it. It's the bottom line, you know, at the end of the day. Yes, we should be doing better. I'm not saying that. But he hasn't got his team, you know, at the end of the day. Dan... what I'm noticing with United is that not one player is taking the game to the opposition. I think maybe only Cunha and Mbeumo has done it so far. And yeah, I agree with this. It's a bit like hot potato football. To me, to you, to me, to you. That's what's going on at the moment. And I agree with that. No one is taking initiative. No one is saying, right, I'm going to win you the game. I'm going to win you the game. No one, apart from obviously Mbeumo and Cunha. And hopefully that continues because I don't want them to be poisoned by the Manchester United virus, Dumbro, you know? I don't want that. I'm worried about that, you know? I doubted Fergie a couple of times and he proved me wrong. Yes, I questioned Fergie loads of times. I questioned Fergie in Europe. I felt Fergie was a little bit naive in Europe a lot of times. I questioned the sales of Andre Conchalcis, Paul Ince, Mark Hughes, Steve Bruce, Gary Pallister, Jaap Stam, David Beckham. You name it, I questioned it, you know? But I learned. After a while, I'm not going to question Alex Ferguson ever again. That's over. The days of, after he won the double with kids, I thought, nah. I'm not questioning this guy ever again, you know? Where do you actually think we'll finish this, man? 5th. That's my prediction. 5th. I think we'll finish 5th this season. I think. 5th or 6th. 5th or 6th. I think we'll be all right. I don't think it's as doom and gloom as people make it out to be. Absolutely not, guys. Absolutely not. But guys, look, you know what? We need people to like the channel. 7th is Dan Hope. Yeah, realistic. Realistic, of course. Realistic, of course, but I hope not. 67th. Or 6th or 7th. I don't know, 67th. I'm just Fergie was always right. I mean, William, most of the time. But even when you look at when we sold David Beckham, right? If we didn't sell David Beckham, we wouldn't have got Cristiano Ronaldo. So it does work itself out. So you look at it and you think everything worked out, and I wouldn't change anything for the world. The only thing I would change is a couple of European games. I thought that we could have won. I think the Leverkusen semi-final, the Dortmund semi-final, and there's many other times in the Champions League that we got knocked out against Monaco, against teams like that, Lille. We've been knocked out of the Champions League, and I felt that Galatasaray as well. And I felt that we could have done better. There's many times I felt that we could have done better. Have you watched Tulsa King? Yes, with Sylvester Stallone. I have. It's all right. I was gutted when Bex went, but Ronaldo. Yeah, Ronaldo's different level, man. He just took us to levels. Roy Keane, boss, again, biggest mistake. I felt that, the biggest mistake I feel, obviously Roy Keane was a big mistake. I think it is. But one of the biggest mistakes I felt happened was Jaap Stam. Jaap Stam had lots of years left in him. It could be argued that the likes of David Beckham, even though they had a few years left in them, it could be argued that the likes of David Beckham didn't. They were getting on a little bit, and Roy Keane was getting on a little bit. But the thing with Jaap Stam, who's in his mid-20s, he had a lot to offer, and he's already admitted, Alex Ferguson, that he got that one wrong, Should have beaten Bayern Munich as well. Bayern Munich, we were robbed. Real Madrid, the referee robbed us. When Nani got sent off, we were comfortable in that game. We were going to win 1-0. I couldn't see a threat from Real Madrid. We would have went through, and that was Alex Ferguson's last season at Man United Champions League, wasn't it? The news they're releasing soon, man. I'm going to watch it, man, definitely. Speaking of Beckham, I heard he was with the players at Carrington this week. He was. He was also talking on TV yesterday in the Champions League, and he was speaking a lot of sense about Man United. The one thing about David Beckham, I would love David Beckham to be at the football club right now. I would love David Beckham to be at Man United. Jaap Stam was a brick wall, absolutely. Nani shouldn't have been gotten a red card. No, he shouldn't have got a red card. And Man United were winning that game all day long. We capitulated against Bayern. Should have won that game. Bayern weren't great. I think we capitulated too easy against Bayern Munich. We should have won against Real Madrid with the red card. The ones that stick out of my head are the Leverkusen semi-final. We were actually ahead in that game as well in the second leg, and the Dortmund game. Yeah, the Dortmund game. We lost 2-0 on aggregate. That was sad. Arastasi. No team could challenge our superiority in the past. I believe we can retain that status quo again. I hope so. I really do hope so. I really do hope we do. I hope we do, guys. I really do. Guys, I want to thank everyone for joining me. I will be back later on for Chatterbox. Please join me for that. Don't forget to smash a like, guys, on the video, please. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. And also put your notifications on, please. And spread the great word of Stretford Post, guys. Really appreciate every single one of you. Ephraim. Sal, some of our fans think without buying players, we will improve our team. They haven't learned their lesson, mate. They don't learn. They don't want to know. They just want the world to burn. And they want to be just blame the manager because it's the easiest thing to do. Because they're Glazer puppets. That's what they are. Absolutely. I wasn't born in glory days, but sadly, hopefully you'll find. Well, hopefully one day, Arastasi, you will have glory, my friend. You will have glory, and I hope you do. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. You're all legends. Really appreciate you. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to smash a like on the video. I'm Sal Warner. This is Devil's Digest, and I'll see you later on for Chatterbox. Take it easy. Peace.